Is there any truth in the situation surrounding you when you're coming to the last year in your contract? Because it's been mooted that you didn't get on or you didn't want Houllier, and a contract extension with Liverpool would have resulted in you wanting Houllier out the door. Anything in that?
Oh, no, I love Gerard Houllier. No, that's total.
Or where's that crap come from then?
Well, what happened is that obviously my contract was running out and I had a year left. So people eventually would put two and two together, and it was actually Rafa Benitez that came in to the club, and I spent 2-3 weeks under his guidance.
Passing ships, weren't you?
Exactly, as I then left. No, Gerard Houllier was amazing. I loved him.
Where did that come from then? Why do people make that link that ultimately in your...
Well, it's the first time I ever heard of that Houllier one.
You've never heard it before?
I've
just dropped that on you.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But what Rafa Benitez did say, actually, to the press and everything, was that he thought that this deal, me to go to Real Madrid, was in the pipeline and it had been going on for ages.
Right.
And it simply hadn't. I remember and Jamie Carragher is probably my best ally when it comes to this, because me and him are lying on separate beds in America in the same room. We used to room together. And we were on pre-season tour, and Rafa Benitez just taken over. I think we'd just played Celtic in a pre-season tour game. We're just lying there talking away, and my phone went, and I answered. It was my agent, and bump. How do you fancy Real Madrid? They've just called me. As you know, David Beckham, we had the same agent. Yep. So anyway, I'm on the phone to him for 5 minutes, put the phone down, and Carragher says, as it goes, Carragher says, don't do it. And I'm like, why not? He says, you've got Raul there, Ronaldo, Morientes. You're going to get into the team, all those great players. And anyway, that's another story.
You'd have been,
but that was the phone call there and then.
Yeah.
Yet Rafa Benitez was convinced that this had been going on for years and years, and said so much. So,
what was your initial reaction? You've obviously got off the phone. I've got a phone call from Tony Stevens about an opportunity to go to Real Madrid. I'm talking to Liverpool about a contract extension. Liverpool's a huge football club. Was it 2004? Yeah.
yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Well, I changed my mind about 10 times. I mean, I always envisaged myself as playing for Liverpool forever. Right. You know, why wouldn't you? Come through the ranks, you just don't. You don't know any different. I think once you start moving once, you become a little bit of a, you're not at the next team because you support. It's then your career, and you're just wanting what's best for your career. Whereas at the outset, you're at a club, and you really have
you're
feelings.
You're probably a little bit more idealistic as well, because the reality of professional football is at some point you're going to move along, aren't you?
Yeah, but for those at a top club, it's not necessarily the case, because you get all you want anyway if you're good enough to be at that club. And so everybody that says to me, like Ryan Giggs and Gary Neville and Paul Scholes and Jamie Carragher, they're more loyal than anyone else. Well, no, they're just normal people, and so are everybody else. And Jack Grealish supported Aston. Do you think he wanted to go to Manchester City for any other reason?
So what are you saying then? Because you didn't have to go to Real Madrid.
No, what I'm saying is that no, you're right, and that's why it was a little bit of a 50-50 decision for me, because Liverpool at the time weren't winning the league. It's not like I was getting absolutely everything.
No.
And Real Madrid, I mean, geez, it's the pinnacle.
Is it?
I think so. I think if you say to any footballer in the world, one club, everyone generally regards Real Madrid as the biggest club in the world.
Do you think it's the biggest club in the world?
I think so.
You don't think Man United is?
Well, you might hit me with a stat on that they earn,
No, I'm not going to. I'm asking you. I'm not influencing your opinion, but from your point of view, given the fact you played for Liverpool, given the fact you played for Real Madrid and you played for Man United, the treachery of that, when you step up in your mind's eye as a professional footballer, you think Real Madrid is the pinnacle.
I think so.
Yeah,
I thought so at the time. I probably think so now. I mean, if you go on European Cups, then they are by miles, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I just thought at the time it was a great time as well. The Galactico, Zidane.
I was going to say, what do you think? I mean, that feels like I always felt like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Which I don't think was a great thing.
Well, in hindsight, no, but at the time, you see them signing every single superstar in the world. You think, get me over there. That'd be I can't say no to that. New country, new language, weather, new experience, that white kit, that stadium, just everything. And I thought to myself as well, I can always come back Ian Rush came back. Loads of people go.
Did you
and
feel
come
like
back.
a Galactico? Did you feel that personally, when you list these names off, whether it's Zidane, Figo, Beckham, Roberto Carlos, whoever else is, did you feel that you were a Galactico?
Well, not really. No, I don't really. It's the last thing
That's
on
best
my
players in
mind.
the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think you're one of the best players in the world, so
Well, no,
don't give me all that
obviously I
rubbish.
felt, but I wouldn't say that myself. I wouldn't say that word, but no, I felt of course, I felt
Right.
one of the group of star players, yeah.
Was it a massive step up? Was there a noticeable step change when you walk out of this iconic environment and you walk into Real Madrid and you walk into all the passion, all the expectation, all the attention, all of the noise that goes with Madrid? Did you sense it? Did you feel it when you're walking into this club and you're going, hang on a second, this is a bit different. I've been at a big football club, but this is something a bit different.
I wouldn't say I felt like, I've jumped up at all. I would feel like it felt magical. It felt like you do a tour of the trophy room, you do a tour of the place. It was a step up. It's, another 30,000 people that are in the stadium. You go to the training ground, there's, 200 bloody press and cameramen and whatever, just
waiting around for you to train.
It's like filming us. The intensity was greater. There's 2 newspapers over there dedicated to football, basically dedicated to Real Madrid and Barcelona, as you know. I mean, it was a step up in intensity. I would say, and going there was, as I say, I always thought I can go back. And my parting shot to Rick Parry, who was the chief executive, who will hear me out, was that, can we put something in the contract? Or
Liverpool can buy you back.
I was just adamant that I had to. I'm going to go for a year, maybe 2 years, and then I want to come back.
Do you think your time in Spain was a success for you?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we didn't win the league.
What?
But Barcelona were
being
exceptional.
on the bench a significant portion of the time?
Well, I wasn't really. I think...
What? You had 26 starts. So 39 games, 40% of the games you were on the bench.
That's a lot of activity, though. That's not being on the bench, is it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know what the numbers are, but if you're saying 26 starts,
yeah, that's the figures I've been given. You. Is it?
And coming on and all
in
the other
38
games.
game season.
I'd say so.
For you, it is, because you never finish a season. You've never had a full season, have you?
I did when I was young. No, I think that's a lot.